Hello, I'm Ian Truscott. You may know me as the host of the Rockstar CMO effing marketing podcast, but I'm here to share that we're kicking off the inaugural MPN Podcast Awards, which will be hosted by Gordon Glenister, podcaster, author, and the Don of influencer marketing. What say you, Gordon?
The Marketing Podcast Network is a community of marketers who podcast. And we thought it was high time to recognise the podcasts that we love, marketing podcasts. But these awards aren't just about the shows on our network. The MPN Awards are open to all marketing podcasts. And this is our chance to shine a light on the voices right across the entire marketing podcast community. So don't delay. Enter the MPN Awards.
You heard Gordon. Let us know your favourite marketing podcast and enter at mpn-awards.com or follow the Marketing Podcast Network on LinkedIn for all of our updates.
You enjoy podcasts. We know because you're listening to one. Hi, I'm Jason Falls, the executive producer of the Marketing Podcast Network. We love podcasts too, so much so that in addition to providing you with the great episode you're listening to, we also help businesses, brands, and even individuals produce their podcasts. MPN Studios offers podcast consulting and production services to help you get you or your business its very own podcast. We've helped dozens of smart people, advertising agencies, and brands develop podcasts. All you do is record your content or interview. We take that and deliver a professionally produced audio or video episode complete with show notes, transcriptions, and even promotional clips to use on social media. And our monthly subscription prices are hard to beat. If you or your company are jonesing to have your own podcast to establish thought leadership, drive business leads, or just have fun talking about your business or topic of choice, we'd love to help. Learn more at marketingpodcasts.net/studio. That's marketingpodcasts.net/studio.
Welcome to Your Radiant Spirit, a space for the conversations and colors that help you see yourself more clearly. I'm Heather Eck, an intuitive artist and guide, and I believe your soul speaks in the ways the mind can't always put into words, through color, energy, and the stories your body holds. This show is where we explore those messages. Through personal stories, deep conversations, and creative insight, we'll uncover what's been hidden, release what no longer serves, and begin to imagine what's possible when you live in full alignment with who you're meant to be. What you hear here is more than inspiration, it's an opening, a chance to feel the shift that could change everything. So take a deep breath, open your heart, and let's step into today's conversation. Today's guest is Joseph Goldfedder, an acupuncturist, intuitive practitioner, and artist whose work bridges the worlds of Eastern medicine and creative expression. Joseph's path into healing began with a personal experience that revealed the profound impact acupuncture can have on the body and the energy system. What followed was a journey of exploration, and one that led him to study acupuncture, develop his intuitive abilities, and reconnect with his roots as an artist. Now, through his work, Joseph helps people access deeper levels of awareness and healing, whether through acupuncture, medical intuition, or art that invites reflection and transformation. In this conversation, you're going to hear us talk about how the body communicates through energy, the role of intuition in healing, and how creativity can open the door to understanding ourselves in entirely new ways. And you'll also hear me tell a very funny story about a massage that I got while in my artist residency in France. I hope you love this conversation. As always, please share it with a friend, like and rate the podcast. It helps us extend our reach. Check out my website at heathereck.com for the latest and greatest, and to check out this month's monthly color spotlight. Enjoy the episode. So I want to hear all about you and your experience and what led you down this path. You were telling me you've kind of moved all over and decided to explore acupuncture. And I want to hear sort of what was happening in your life that made you say, this is the path I'm going down.
I was living in New Mexico. I moved I'm moving to New Mexico. So I did. Me and my truck, that's all I had. I packed up my truck. I moved. I had a few friends there. And it was my first year there, and I got really sick. I had really bad cold. I was in bed for a week, and a coworker of mine suggested acupuncture. Oh, I'll try it. And I was amazed how, after being sick for a week, the energy just drained. I was like, oh my God, that was amazing. And it took me actually 10 years after that to actually decide, oh, I need to go to acupuncture school. I was going in as a patient at the school for many years because I couldn't afford paying my acupuncturist anymore out of pocket. I didn't have insurance, and I kept, I'd make things for her, and she was great. But but it kind of led me to the school because I was a patient there, and like, oh, I should do this, and so I did. But it's just kind of comical how it took me about 10 years to figure it
I think that's pretty typical, honestly.
out. I never thought I would do that. I thought it was fascinating, but I never thought I would do it. And it's been an interesting journey.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like there's always a lot of transformation that happens during that time too. So what was going on in your life that made you finally say, I should do this? Because I feel like for a lot of people, it's either
Mm.
that there's a big shift in their life, they experience some kind of breakdown of a relationship, or here, I want to go down this path.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of struggled for many years. Like for many years, I supported myself as a waiter, and I could work in my studio. And then everything changed when I moved to New Mexico because it really wasn't working. So I kind of stumbled in. A friend of mine said, just get a job. Because so I worked in the corporate world, and I was surprised that I was actually good at it. I was like, oh, I can do this. And one of my clients, I was in inside sales, I was talking to a lot of acupuncturists, and I go, oh, this is interesting. And around the same time, a relationship was ending, and I was like, what do I do? I was just turning 40, about to turn 40. What do I do with my life? What is it really? Acupuncture is so creative. And that's the thing that kind of that and my profound experience with its healing. And I
Mm,
said, oh, I should try this. So that's what kind of led me to taking that deep dive into it. Like, oh, I should do this.
awesome.
Yeah.
So when you were younger, were you always interested in art and
Oh, yeah.
were you a creative kid?
Yeah, I was always painting, drawing, painting. When I was in high school, middle school, high school, I would do like yearbook covers or murals or work in the theater, like the painting, set painting
Yeah.
theater, all kinds of things. I was all taking art classes, live figure drawing classes. I was always and making things in clay. My parents are super encouraging any creative endeavor to do. So they were really very supportive of that and
Oh, that's so nice.
creativity in general. So yeah,
Hmm.
definitely like a big part of my life. But then like going to art school, like what? Like why do I
Yeah. Yeah, because you went to school for the arts too.
I
You got a
went, yeah,
BFA
BFA and
and then
MFA.
your MFA. Wow.
Yeah. So like, and sometimes I wish I could have got like a degree as a plumber, like become a plumber or electrician or something like logical, and then you could do art, because art school, I think nowadays is different. Um,
Yeah.
but back then it was like, how do I like support myself? How do I
Hmm.
other things? Because realistically, it's a hard journey to figure it out and
Yeah.
persevere it. And it's just recently where the art and the medicine kind of came together for me this last couple of years, like because I was struggling how to make art again. Like nothing was working, nothing was
Mm.
coming together. It was like, yeah, it's all right, but nothing that I loved. Nothing was kind of
Hmm.
resonated. So it to take a while to emerge, blend things together.
I love that. So tell me how that works for you. How do you combine the art and the medicine together?
It was after I finished the medical intuitive program that I somehow the intuition opened up. I got myself into a show, and I had 2 weeks to do these paintings. And like I was on the deadline, I had this pressure, and I had to just get it done. And I was working these paintings, and I was struggling. Like I can't believe I said I'd do this, and and then I
Yeah.
was just like, I was a lot of fear, like oh my God. And then I just started painting, and something broke through. I just felt this something, I don't know how to describe it, but this epiphany, this moment where I was just started painting, and all this thing, like it was something about turning my mind off and let my hands. I'm sure you understand that the hands and the
Hmm.
mind just kind of work, the hands kind of figuring things out, and I just it's allowing, it's basically allowing that to come through because often we're in our ego minds. We're thinking
Hmm.
about like, is it good, blah, blah, blah. And just like a total shift into like allowing my hand to speak and I keep working it and working it and allow the energy to work to come through to speak, allow it the energy to come through on what I was creating instead of like, just keep working it and working it.
Yeah.
Kind
Yeah.
of
Instead
the
of
work
trying to control
dictates,
it.
the work dictates what it needs. And you wait till then, like, okay, you done? What do you need to do to make it better? You know what I'm talking about.
I totally do. I appreciate that so much. Yes. I'm having conversations with my artwork and I'm going, are you done? You
Yeah.
good?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel the same way.
I think artists are so lucky when we meet up, we meet each other, we instantly know who each other are.
Mm.
I just went to an artist residency in France. I was there for two
Oh
weeks.
my God. Wow.
Oh my gosh,
Wow. That's
Joseph.
amazing.
If you ever get the opportunity to go, it was a life-changing experience
Mm.
because of this conversation for two
Hmm.
whole weeks.
Wow.
Everybody just
Wow.
got you instantly. And even though, there were writers and musicians and a guy who wrote operas, and there were, I mean, just incredible, incredible people. And so, I come in and I've got this like interesting woo-woo spiritual side to my work.
Right, right,
And
right.
instantly they were like, yeah, cool, I get it. And I was like, hallelujah, I have arrived,
That's great. You have to go to
Yeah,
Europe to find that.
yes. Had to go all the way to France.
Yeah,
Um,
that sounds magical.
it was. I'll tell you all about it if you want to check it out. It was
Yeah,
great.
definitely. Yeah, definitely. That's like follow from that. I did an artist colony, God, over 10 years ago at Yaddo, and I had a similar with writers and musicians, and it was just everything was prepared for you to kind of just work in your studio and then get together for, they had cocktails in the evening, and then dinner was like, they pack a lunch for you to go to the studio. It was just a really wonderful time. So definitely artist colonies and residencies are a really great way to kind of immerse yourself and
Hmm.
because it's so hard to like with working, you have like an hour here, an hour there. Like,
Hmm.
what do I have energy to do now? Like, how can I make the
Yeah.
most of this time? Like, so that's a
Yeah,
great
absolutely.
opportunity.
It's the best. I've decided that for my work, I'd love to try to do a residency every other year or so because I think
Mhm.
that that time away from the laundry and the responsibilities of home gives your mind and your spirit space to
Yeah,
expand your
totally expand
thoughts.
and kind of imagine yourself and what you can do because we often
Yeah,
get limited, like, oh yeah, this is what I do, but there's
yeah,
so much possible, unlimited possibilities what we can do if we just
yeah.
let's allow ourselves. So
For sure.
yeah.
So how does it work for you when you are working with a client or a patient where you're tuning into both your intuition and your art? Are you creating art for the individual that's telling them something about what's going on with them? Or is there a different way that it sort of comes through
Well,
for
I
you?
have two things, like two
Okay.
very separate, distinct things. When I'm an acupuncturist, obviously we use our intuition, but we look at the body and hear what they're saying, and then we divide, use. There are lots of different ways to work as an acupuncturist, but like think about meridians where the pain is and what we need to do and how to like target their body and like, listen to what they're saying and get hints from there and where to put the placement of needles, which is an art form in and of itself, like putting getting them shifting, helping them shift their own consciousness because that's a
Hmm.
big part of it. I try to really create an environment where they can really kind of shift and expand and rest because that's when healing really happens, when we can rest and allow
In
that
the
to happen.
resting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's that. And then with the medical intuition training, it's like a totally separate thing. Work with clients, use your visionary, energetic imagination and visualization to kind of see, and I made drawings based on what I've seen, and to be very clear, it's not a diagnosis; it's more a description what we see. So it's very important to make that distinction because I'm not a doctor, so I describe
Hmm.
and it's an energetic experience and write down or draw, help them see based on what I see, but just all visual, um, but not a diagnosis. So I just that's important distinction to make.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And then where does so you use your artwork more in the medical intuitive side of
But
things,
mostly,
or?
but right now, mostly just for myself, kind of figure out making a body of work. I'm interested in making a body of work and just kind of for me, and then this is a separate thing for the medical intuition stuff. But right now, it's just what I'm doing. I just setting up my new studio space and I'm expanding. I was doing oil pastels, which I still love, but I want to make bigger work. Like I see a big painting behind you. I want to make
Hmm.
bigger, bigger things. So paint is a way to do that. So I'm just exploring that and figuring that out.
I love that. I love that. Well, it's so interesting too how your intuition, your intuitive abilities sort of opened up more and more as you've allowed it to, and that the medical intuition and Acupuncture really go hand in hand because you can use your medical intuition in the acupuncture work too, I'm sure, where you could sort of look at someone,
Well,
right?
no, not really. It's a very separate activity.
Oh, okay.
It's not, I have to like, sit down. Well, I need a consent form and let them know what I'm
Oh,
doing.
got it.
I don't,
Okay.
I don't do that. It's like very like this world and this world, and they're never the
And
two
they
meet.
never the two shall meet.
Oh, I haven't figured that out. I haven't figured that out yet, but more like this is a separate thing, and then there's a consent form, and then there's a concentration, like a focus, but I'm not doing things because I need to, imagine. But so the acupuncture is I'm moving. There's definitely some intuition involved with that because I'm moving and thinking and talking, interacting with them as I go. So there's that, and then there's this. So there's just
Hmm.
those separate activities.
Awesome. So tell me about your artwork then. I saw in your bio, you create art as an invocation. Paintings meant to inspire. I love that. Tell me
It's
more.
just like you make, yeah, read in your website, art that heals and
Yeah.
inspire healing. Well, like I want to like make art that some reference to the world, physical world we live in, but also, like we talk about the tip of the iceberg, the bigger reality is below the iceberg,
Hmm.
spiritually speaking, energetics are a bigger part, but we don't see that. And when we forget, we get stuck in a three-dimensional world, but energetically and spiritually, there's so much more. And like, I want to hint at that, get to that, like how people have an experience. And yeah, so the drawings is a way to help people see for themselves. So
Mm.
based on what imbuing the work with it. Hopefully,
Yeah.
that's my goal.
I love that. I
That's what
love
you
that.
strive for.
Yeah. Yeah. And our work, I think, evolves too as our intuition changes, as our lives. My work was very small, and I think I was really just trying to figure out who I was as an artist and what
Yeah.
making art felt like. And then for me, my uh, I don't like you. I don't really paint anything specifically. I sort of just let the spirit move me, and whatever colors come out, they're all telling a story about something, and I generally start to feel what that story is as
Mm.
I'm working. And so, but for individuals, my work really centers around what's happening with, like, what's the spiritual root cause of what's going on with them. And I
Yeah.
explore that through color and things like that. So I'm curious to see how your work starts to shift too. Because I imagine there's going to be even more expansion there as
Yeah.
well.
It's just allowing, just to stay allowing things to come through, like not
Yeah.
have any preconceived ideas. This is what art is supposed to look like. I think that's the killer, like, allowing things to come through. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're talking about filters, like helping people see what filters are blocking them, which I think is
Hmm.
the same thing with medical intuition, allowing people to kind of recognize what filters they do have. Like it's a program that runs in the background, like they don't even not even aware we have this program running that you can't do this, you have to look at it this way, and then wait a
Yeah.
minute, and then you shine a light on it with art, and maybe they'll shift like, oh, I can try this, or
Yeah.
there's a big shift. People can really shift with I see with patients in acupuncture, like they feel good and they able to sometimes expand their mindset because we get so stuck and the world is bombarding us these days, and it's so important to have a quiet space to kind of reconnect to ourselves,
Hmm.
just even for like 10 minutes, like 5 minutes,
It's so true.
regather, reconnect, realign, and
Hmm.
then go back out,
And
but
then go back out, right? You got to
yeah,
refill
yeah.
your
We're not
cup.
monks. We're not living as monks and nuns in a monastery. We're here to be out in the world, but
Yeah.
doing our thing, being our connected to what our passion is, our vitality. That's our vitality, our passion. By what we resonate with, and we also
Yeah.
people forget that too. I see that very often.
I imagine you do. Yeah. Are you seeing, in your medical intuitive work, are you seeing any um, trends or consistent things that are happening with people now that sort of give a bigger context into what we are experiencing sort of globally?
Well, I haven't been actively practicing that, so I'm trying to get big into it. What I,
Got
what
it.
I have noticed is a lot of people digestion is a big thing, and that could relate it to processing.
Yeah.
Digestion is a big thing for some.
Digestion is huge.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Like, not liking what you're seeing or not able to integrate or
That is so interesting that you say that, because I think that it's like you just can't digest it. You can't
Do you
digest
find
what's
that with the
happening.
clients you work with? Like,
I find the gut and the heart
yeah,
are two
and the
places.
disconnect, not, resonating with the heart.
Mm-hmm.
The heart,
And the throat too. People are really struggling.
self-expression,
Mm-hmm.
self-expression, not
Yep,
expressing themselves, being their authentic selves.
that's it.
I still wrestle with that, being my authentic self.
Yeah. I get that too. I totally do. I was just talking to a friend of mine. She's one of those friends that you can say anything to, and she's like part bestie, part therapist, And
Mhm.
she
Right.
said, today she said, I said, I'm not going to send that message now because I don't want to make that person feel bad. And she was like, you are not responsible for other people's feelings. And I was like,
Mm.
are you sure?
Right. Yeah. Right.
Like
The
we,
life of
like
the
you said.
empath. The life of the empath.
100%. And the filters, right? Like the story that I've told myself is that I'm responsible for how you feel or how mom feels or how dad
Right.
feels. Like
Right.
those are old stories
Yeah.
that show up. And so many of us hold those kinds of things we don't know.
Yeah. I think I've learned that unless the people put out a hand, you're not there. It's not your job to give unless they put out a hand. Like maybe they don't want off because people often can't hear
Yeah.
what you're offering, and it's like, keep your energy solid for yourself unless they then give freely once if they are interested in put out a hand for
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
wisdom.
So true. So I want to hear about the meridians, and I'm asking because um I actually, while I was in France, I had a massage that I'm pretty sure was like a Chinese massage or something that
Tuina,
yes, that worked on your meridians.
yeah, Tuina massage.
Okay, yeah. I had never had one before,
Yeah.
and
How was
um
it for you?
terrible.
Was it painful?
Yes.
Yeah. They were
He
digging
worked.
into your.
Oh my gosh, he worked on some spot on the outside of my left thigh.
Okay.
It hurt so bad, I started sobbing on the
Well,
table.
you got to listen to your client. Like, stop.
Well,
Lighten
here's the
up.
funny. This is like one of those stories that I tell people where I'm like, this is my experience in France where I had this terrible massage that made me cry. But it's such a funny story because um it was so painful, but it felt like a great release at the same time. And I'm
Mhm.
laying on the table crying and I see him go over and reach for a tissue and I thought he was going to hand me the tissue, but he didn't. He used it to wipe his hands off and then threw it in the and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Funny.
There's so much
Did you
more to that. But
did you
anyway,
feel
I've
better
been,
later? Did you feel better later?
I did.
Because I have to
Yeah.
watch that because some people are very sensitive to needles and they may get it's maybe too much for them. It could hurt, but often later on, they'll feel better.
Hmm.
It's often, oh, you got a doggy there.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
It's
He
often
only,
it only
oh,
comes when you're talking.
only for special interviews.
Oh, I'm honored. I'm
Yeah.
honored.
He came to say hi.
Oh, thank you. Um,
Um,
with acupuncture, people will feel like energetic sensations. I often warn them in case they said this could be weird or might be different. Sometimes you feel heaviness or achiness or pressure, itchiness. That's all normal. But and there may be no needle there. People don't know what to expect and try to set the expectations. So that's normal. But if you're in that much pain, that's a little bit. They
mm-hmm.
should tune into you more, like so you have a nice experience. It's like a push pull a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah.
So. But
Yeah.
points are often sore in the body. The fascias, everything's interconnected, and one point can release something somewhere else. It depends where. It's just interesting how the body communicates.
Yeah. And it's all, like you said, it's all connected. So,
It's a map.
um,
The map of the body, like in acupuncture meridians, it's not like we don't. There are organs, obviously, but it's a different language. We use the meridians. What meridians? Where is the affected, and what that meridian is a blockage, or there's stagnation, or what have you. And the meridians are like, how can I, even just pressing the point can make a difference. Just
oh
massage
wow.
the point can make a difference. Acupressure is another valid way, and people can do it for themselves. I also really encourage people to, self-empowerment, like do some things on yourself, like when you get
Mm-hmm.
self-pressure acupressure or whatnot. Like I'll print out things for like music or books that might be helpful, or because people have ultimate self-responsibility for like
Yeah.
healing is an inside job, and we're there to assist, and people
Yeah,
come to us and we help them connect to themselves.
that's exactly right. We help empower them to.
Empower people is really
Hmm.
key. It's.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so important. It's so important. So if folks are listening and they're like, okay, Joseph, I am having trouble with my digestion or I'm having trouble with
Acupuncture works great.
stress.
Acupuncture
Yeah.
is great for that and stress.
Okay. Are there particular acupressure points that you can share now that somebody might be able to use right away?
Like the common one everyone knows, it's right here.
Oh, okay. Right between
Or
the thumb and the.
yeah, that's a common one. Or just massaging your ears, because all the, there are a lot of points in the ear, and just massaging your ears is something that people can do to help calm them. Or just being mindful of your breath. Focus on breathing is a powerful healing, and it grounds you, connects you to your body.
Mm,
Breathing is the bridge, connects the body and mind. It's just sitting quietly, even like taking a 2-minute break, 5-minute break, go step outside away from your desk, breathe, be conscious, of take a couple deep breaths. There's different types of breathing, like box breathing, for instance, or there's so many pranayama, the yoga where you alternate nostrils. There's so many
oh,
types
yeah.
of breathing. That's a really powerful thing that, people can do, and we forget because often we're breathing like a tip of the iceberg, just up here instead of our belly. And then we breathe our belly and then really kind of grounding ourselves. And that is so key. Grounding is so important, especially things that come at us.
Yeah.
Someone is super excited, they're like shortness of, they're breathing really shallowly. And just taking a deep breath a couple times can really shift everything. So I'm a big proponent of getting people to breathe. And I'll do that with, before, we do needles. Sometimes people are very apprehensive and getting them to ground in their bodies. Or people are like really
Mm.
tight. And then they're like, tighten up. Well, it's going to hurt if you're like this, because then kind of funny.
I love what you said, though. I think the healing is an inside job, and a lot of times we already have what we need in order to find healing.
Everything inside. We just have
Hmm.
to remember, be willing to look and to kind of get grounded and rest. Look
Yeah.
inside. And that's where art comes in, or whatever activity, writing poetry, reading, walking outside, swimming, and whatever, anything to help us ground and rest and kind of reconnect and be present. Being present is so important.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Well, amazing. Well, how can people find you online and how can they work with you?
Well, I think I gave you my links to the websites. So my art, josephgoldfedder.com, and then goldfedderwellness.com is my medical intuition site. So those are the two ways. And I practice in New Jersey, in Barnegat, New Jersey, and Toms River, New Jersey. Um,
Awesome. And then I saw that you have a special offer for the listeners too, that you will offer a free reading to the first 5 people who reach out
yeah,
to you.
yeah, that'd be good.
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
That's so, I love that. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your humor and joy with me today.
yeah, thank you for
I've
inviting
loved
me.
getting
Can I
to
share
chat with
one
you.
thing? Can I share one
Yeah,
thing? Yeah, I
please,
just
please.
I just read this book by Geraldine Glass. She wrote a book called Sacred Vibrations about singing bowls.
Ooh.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. Before I even finished the book, I bought a singing bowl. I
Oh my gosh,
don't
that's
know if they'll
gorgeous.
I don't know if they'll come through. Does that come through the sound?
No, I didn't hear it.
Sometimes Zoom doesn't like you to doesn't allow you have to finagle to get the sound to come through.
Yeah, I heard
But
like a teeny tiny bit.
yeah,
So
yeah, fortunately, but
does,
sound's another thing I'm just beginning to explore, the important thing.
oh
I listen
yeah.
to music. That's really
Hmm.
great too.
Is that for a particular energy center or is it a tone that is helpful
This
for a
is a
particular
this is
center?
a this is a root chakra bowl. They make different bowls for different chakras, but it's
Uh-huh.
notice for the root chakra. And it's
Oh,
just
I
so,
love that.
yeah. I wish the sound come through. It's so beautiful.
That was such a great conversation, and I just wanted to pop on really quick to let you know Joseph's websites are josephgoldfedder.com. That's Joseph, GOLDFEDDER.com, or Goldfedder Wellness, GOLDFEDDER Wellness.com. Also, it sounded like we were getting a little bit of a storm, so the audio cuts out in a few places. My apologies for that. Please go check out Joseph's work. Go check out his website. He's amazing. I enjoyed my conversation with him so much. I'll see you again next week, my friends. Have a great day.
Thank you for joining me today on Your Radiant Spirit. Every conversation here is an invitation to go beyond the surface, to listen to what your soul has been whispering,
and to step into the life you've been longing for. If you're ready to go deeper, to work in a way that's personal, creative, and profoundly transformative, you'll find ways to connect with me in the show notes. Whether it's through art, a guided session, or a fully immersive journey, you'll discover a space where your truth is seen and your next chapter begins. If this episode spoke to you, it would mean the world if you shared it with a friend, left a review, or subscribed so more people can discover the conversations we have here. Until next time, my friend, keep noticing the colors, the moments, and the nudges. They're all leading you home. And for now, take a breath, hold on to what resonated, and carry it with you into the rest of your day. Thanks for listening.
This podcast is heard along the Marketing Podcast Network. For more great marketing podcasts, visit marketingpodcasts.net.